Well, hello. Every so often, I like to buy a new pen. You know, I'm more of a vintage pen guy, but you see new pens and pens in use, and I buy new pens. And I've had one I've had my eye on for quite a while since it first came out. And I gave in. So I gave in partly because of the nib, although the nib isn't that special, and partly because of the color of the pen. So let's look at my shameful little purchase here. All right, so this is a pen that I've gone back and forth on for a while, whether do I really want to buy it? Maybe, maybe not, and I finally went for it. So yeah, I've got others of this model. I have a fine, I have a broad, I don't have a medium. And when I saw their signature nib, I said no over and over and over again, but here it is. So it comes in a sleeve. Inside the sleeve is a Gigantor-sized box. Inside the Gigantor-sized box, we get probably non-biodegradable foam. I'll just pause as an aside here. I'm not a big fan of packaging. The more minimalist it can be, the better for me, but that's not what most pen buyers are looking for. So that's why I'm showing you the packaging, because I don't really care. Under the packaging, ooh, it's upside down. Whoop! We've got some literature. More literature. A very nice ink bottle. Honest to God, this is my favorite type of ink bottle. Maybe this or the Lamy bottles. But I just love these bottles. So, Pilot Blue isn't one of my favorites, but after I use up the ink that's in it, I'm going to enjoy refilling the bottle with something else. And then, the part you all came for. Let's see what this says. Oh, yeah, they're warning you don't take the pen apart. So, it is sealed in plastic, which is new. I don't remember that ever before with a Pilot pen, but anyway, let's put all this crap aside that I will never use again. Who knows, maybe I'll sell a Pilot 823 down the road. I actually really like the model, so that's unlikely, but you never know. So we'll give it a nice glamour shot that we can use for the title. I have wanted a Pilot Custom 823 that's a... Oh, I got stuff on it. Huh. Well, I don't want that sticker. I know some people who will leave the stickers on a pen. Not me. I'm going to have to come in and clean it off later, though. Ew. It's leaving glue behind. I don't like that. Some stickers will clean off. You know, you peel them off and everything's gone, but... Ew. But we'll deal with that later. A little bit of vegetable oil will take care of that. Anyway, if we take a look, we've got a transparent barrel. This is, of course, a vacuum filler. The cap has a black... That's annoying. The cap has a black inner liner. You know, and your mileage may vary on that. It doesn't really bother me. But some people might be bothered by it. You know, some people want it transparent, but I also know that gets full of ink. And then it starts looking sloppy. And then we have... That looks like a Pilot. The nib is a little different shape. So, shall I use this new bottle of Pilot Blue? Oh, come on. What channel is this? You know better. I used to hate this ink too. Alrighty, so we'll put in some Parker Quink washable blue. Let's just turn up the exposure here. Okay. So there's a bar in town. If you're hearing that, there's a bar in town that will give people a ride. Because of the whole drunk driving thing. And my neighbor is getting picked up, and yeah, they sit out front of the house and honk. So that's what you're hearing. I don't really go to bars, so, But, side issue. Anyway, and I'm not a teetotaler or anything. Okay, we'll just pull it out. We'll push it in. We'll see how much ink we get. Heard some lovely bubbling. Oh yeah, so about halfway. And that's pretty typical for a vacuum filler, which is what this is. But we're going to see if we can do a little bit better. Because if you turn your pen upside down, vacuum filler, push until the ink is right there, and then put it in the ink. It's a little bit risky, but you can usually end up with a full fill. If I weren't filming, I would probably have done that with some paper towel or tissue around the nib collar, just in case it leaked. Because, ew. But, there we go. We got a full fill of ink, and that's how you can get a full fill of ink if you have a vacuum filler. So I will be writing with Parker Quink washable blue for quite a long time in this pen, but hey. Let's see if I remember which notebook I'm supposed to write this in. Alright, so we'll do our writing sample in this black and red notebook. Let's dial the exposure down now. So when writing with a vacuum filler, at least this one, you have to keep the blind cap up a little bit or else it gets sealed down here. But that is apparently a handy feature on airplanes. Alright, so I'm kind of liking the way this looks. I'm eager to explore it a little bit. So we have Parker Quink. Washable blue, which probably won't fit on the screen. But very smooth nib. And definitely has some line variation to it. Flex. No, not a flex nib. But let's check this out. Definitely has some cursive italic character. Not as much as a cursive italic, but it definitely has it. Nothing really oblique to it. Wetness and flow. I'm going to say it's a wet pen, but let's just see. Okay, just barely enough room to fit this on. Yeah, that's wet. Smear test. I think we'll get some smearage. Oh, yeah. Reverse writing. I think it will do well. All right, I was way wrong. That was awful. A ultra extra fine. Very smooth, but almost no ink coming out of it. And finally, the world-famous Peer-Gustafson test. And no problem at all keeping up. So, I am excited to do some more writing with this. I am excited to try it in some pen pal letters. I am excited to try it with some different inks. I'm coming away with this with good feelings. That was the Pilot Custom 823. How many do I own? Okay. So this makes my third one. My first one was my very first expensive pen purchase. I trying to think when I purchased it. Over 10 years ago for sure. Long time ago. And it was a find. I loved it for writing. At the time I was using Noodler's Blacks, I'd have a little bit of trouble because the bubbles would go bloop, bloop, bloop up from the feed. They would just get stuck under the little valve that's in it, and then it would quit working. But I haven't used Noodler's Black in years because I've found better inks. And, it widened my horizons beyond Noodler's. So yeah, that hasn't been an issue in years. So that's the fine. And then a few years ago, I bought a broad nib one. And one of the things I've always wanted is a clear one. Now, yeah, I bought a Chinese interpretation that's clear, but I really wanted the Japanese Pilot Custom 823, and I finally bought one. I wasn't going to buy the medium nib. I have no interest in owning the medium nib, so I don't own it. But then they came out. I was thinking about buying one of Pilot's other nibs, but that would have involved buying a pen and then buying another pen, and both of them expensive just to swap nibs, and I just thought, eh. And then they came out with the signature nib, and I went months saying, no squirrel, no. And then in a moment of weakness, I bought it. But I've been enjoying it. You saw how it writes. It's stub-like. It's not exactly stub. It's not exactly cursive italic. I don't think it knows exactly what it is. But it reminds me of some of the pen reviews I've seen of like the Montblanc 149 or the Pelikan M1000, where they call it, this is my signature pen. Where they write their signature big and bold. Well, I don't write my signature that often that it matters that I'd want to write it big and bold. I mean, when I bought this house, they handed me a ballpoint, a Bic crystal, and said, here, use this. Like, okay, yes, we won't be using the Lamy 2000. Haven't actually had to do lots of signing of my name since I quit working at one particular school where we had to sign every single grade with our full signature. So anyway, so it's not a signature pen for me. It is a writer pen. Not for notes. It's awful for that. Maybe for headers or something in the notes. But I don't typically do my notes that way. Typically when I do notes by hand, it's all with one pen, possibly a second pen to highlight certain things. But it is fun. These nibs are fun for letter writing. You show off an ink, makes the page look really cool. That's what I enjoy this pen for. The Parker Quink washable blue took a long time to use up. And then I refilled it with Parker Quink washable blue, which is what's still in it. But it is on its second fill of ink, so there is that. I just enjoy it. It's a good compromise. It's not a proper cursive italic. It's not a proper stub. It's like a extra broad with more character. Pocket test. I don't have a pocket in this shirt, but putting it over the t-shirt, it goes over pretty well. It doesn't get stuck coming off. I like the clip on the Pilot Custom 823. Is the valve a pain? No, not really. I don't care. So I unscrew the valve when I write. Big whoop. I like this pen. I like the fact that it's transparent. One of the things I want to do when I do finally use up this second fill of Parker Quink washable blue. Yes, he did 2 fills of Parker Quink washable blue by choice. One of the things I'd like to do is clean off the sticker residue, which I have not done yet. But I like it. I like the fact that when you uncap it, one of the troubles with demonstrators is in the cap, you end up with ink splashed all over the place. It just looks like a mess. But with the Pilot Custom 823, they have a black inner cap, and that hides a lot of that splashed ink. So I think it's a very attractive pen. I think having the black finials slash, piston turning knob kind of set it off. I mean, what are you going to see inside there? The screw that's holding it on. So I think that works really well. The plastic is nice and transparent. Of course, it's a Pilot, so it writes well, because Pilot pens are generally quite reliable. So on the whole, I'm very happy with it. Worth the price I paid for it? Whole other discussion. Pilot Custom 823 is not a cheap pen. And you could argue that you could get the same pen for a lot less from a different manufacturer from a different country. Okay, go nuts. I own that pen. I've bought several of them. But the Pilot really wins in terms of the writing experience. And that's the true joy of this. And this nib is unique enough. I don't have anything quite like it in my collection. So, is the signature nib worth it? Now, that's only a question you can answer, but it was worth it to me. I'm enjoying letter writing with it. Not really doing many signatures with it. I don't even write that many checks anymore. It's I don't even have to pay my water bill with a check anymore. That's awesome. Yeah, I just really happy with it. And probably, if you are writing checks, maybe don't use Parker Quink washable blue. So anyway, I hope that was interesting. Hope it was useful. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.